we're going to share all of the things that we wish we would have known before starting a business. So if you're new here, welcome. My name's Mariah.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are a top producing real estate team, but I think these can apply to, pretty much across the board. So
yeah, business.
Yes,
It's such a wide
important.
variety.
Yeah. There's so many things.
Well, people go to college to do business. We were just talking about that the other day. And at the end,
true.
It comes down to wanting success or just proving yourself in the end, or self-motivation. That's what I would relate business to. But like thinking big and thinking outside of the box, if you're stuck somewhere and you're just 9 to 5, maybe you got a job and you're looking to start your business, don't do this when you start your business. That's a great job or a great video title. Cool. But let this be known. Business is hard. Business is not easy. And sometimes the media, online presences make it so glamorous that you don't think it's even possible to fail. Yeah. In our industry, for instances, real estate, the average agent fails. What was it, 95 or 98% of agents are gone in the first
like
3 years?
It might be 93, 95, but that percentage,
it's a crazy number.
90-something% of people who get their real estate license are not licensed realtors anymore. They don't make it past, I don't know how long, if it's a 1 year, I don't know how long it is, but it's...
I'd say 3 years is a long time. 2 years. Let's go 2 years.
Right. It requires, and I think one of the big reasons is, this isn't like what we're going to talk about yet, but I think one of the biggest reasons is because it requires putting in work before you see results. And people don't want to do that, especially if you come from a job where you get paid for, you trade your time for money. And
your result is the paycheck.
It's not the way that it is. And that's just, it's not unique to real estate. That's like that in any business that you're trying to do. You're not trading dollars for hours. So you really have to change your mindset there. But we're going to get into all the tips. Like I said, there is a lot here, and we are saving what I think is the most important one for the very end. So you're not going to want to go anywhere today.
Awesome. What's on that great list of yours, Mariah?
Okay. The first thing is activity does not equal growth. It's very possible to spend all your time doing things that aren't actually leading to growth of your business, your real estate business, or whatever else, It's important to identify what the revenue generating activities are. What are the activities that create more cash flow for you? And how can you set up your schedule to just really prioritize those things? And this is something that I think we've gotten really good at, is we really just
Decent at.
I know for me, I have like laser focus for my business. I've cut out.
I can't sit on the couch for 5 minutes without you coming over and making me work.
My time is so precious to me, and I have cut out like everything that's not.
You have.
Everything in my business, because I used to do, how do I say this? There's a lot of things you can do in your business, whether it's real estate or not. Like there's a lot of things you can do to try to get clients, but I have really zeroed in on the only things, like what's bringing me the best results by following the path of least resistance as well.
Good.
So the best results in the least amount of time, and that is all that I'm focusing on. I cut out everything else out. So just...
And now here's the hard part.
What?
Okay, for the audience, you guys listening to this, when you're new into your business, creating whatever the title may be or subject area is, you don't know what works for you yet. You don't know what's going to be successful and what's not, and how to get clientele. Okay, so there is that trial and error period, and this is where that statistic in our industry, at least, people fail because they don't know or find out what works for them in that amount of time period. Because right now we want everything instant. And right when you start something, you're expecting immediate result.
Yeah.
That's the harshest reality that me as a person had to understand, is I can work 20 hours. I can do that in 2 days. Cool. Did I get any money out of it? Were the activities I was doing dollar producing or not? Now, they might be in 6 months from now.
Yeah.
But I got to pay my mortgage right now.
Yeah.
And that's what people have a hard time understanding and separating, is the distance to the achievement.
That's
and
true.
what that tip is, though, everything is so easy to get sidetracked with nowadays. I mean, you could think you're doing a dollar producing activity on Facebook or TikTok, but it might take you a year for your account to even get started, So think about a dollar producing activity. This is my advice. If you're new in the beginning, okay, because this is an advice show today, do something that's going to be more like 3 months from now, at least, that you're going to make income off of. Okay. For sure. Result. Create a dollar producing activity, have to do list 5 days a week at least. Time block it, do it 5 days a week at least. And then that dollar producing activity is going to create you some type of income.
Yes, that's good. Time blocking is everything also, by the way. Okay, this next thing is somebody is going to write you a bad review, or depending on what other kind of industry you're in, maybe they're going to ask you for a refund on your product or your course. It's going to happen. That's inevitable. You could be the best at what you do, and someone is still going to find something somewhere. It might be like 1 in 100, but somebody is going to. I know I've seen, like I've shared this before on our different channel, but I had a realtor who sent me over a referral, and the person that I was helping sell their home, they had a previous agent that they worked with, and this agent was like the most, respected agent in our industry, in our area, someone that has been around for a really long time.
And you knew him personally.
Good name, yes, in real estate. And the particular seller that was working with them, super unhappy with their services. And so it's like, no matter how good you are, no matter what you're doing, like somebody is going to write you a bad review and not be happy with you. I know I've gone to nail salons that I had a great experience with, but you're going to see someone trashing them. So it's just, you have to accept that and not take it personally.
The weirdest ones is when they start attacking you personally rather than your actual business model that you're performing, your business relationship. They just go off of a relational aspect. And I just think that's weird because the relation side in a lot of cases aren't getting the result. Because
what do you mean relational?
At the end of the day, they wrote you a review because they either received a product, you finalized the sale in our industry, so then they were able to give you a review. Well, we successfully got the sale done. Successfully. And in a lot of cases made them more money than they usually would have on their own. But there was some personal flaw, characteristic that they didn't like about maybe your own personality or what. So and it has nothing to do, in my case, with the transaction side.
So you're saying
I can't control that. Exactly.
They were personally offended by like your personality, something you said without knowing, even though you got the job done for them in a great way. You did what you wanted them to. So they wrote you a bad review.
The end result was the same end result with a 5-star review or a 1-star review. But they still decided to attack you off of a personality trait that in a lot of cases you're 100% unaware of until after it's all said and done. They never said it to your face.
Or not even like personality trait you weren't aware of, more just like a misunderstanding because seeing the world differently or seeing, you know, something you said taken the wrong way or whatever. So,
And if you want examples of this, just go on to Amazon. See what 1-star, click on an item and go to the 1-star review and then just be like, The problem is when you're getting a review and you're a business owner, those things matter, like on Google and wherever people are searching. You're going to look for reviews and see what your status is. Even though you got 5 stars all across the board, that 1-star gets you to a 4. You know, and that sometimes is a hard pill to swallow.
I will never write a business a bad review. That's something that just because I know how detrimental it can be to a business owner and to their business, I always want to give other businesses the benefit of the doubt. If I have a bad experience, I'm going to assume, you know, maybe it was just a really bad day, or maybe things weren't going well and this was a bad representation of the company, but I'm not going to go on there and write a bad review. I'm going to go write a good review for another business.
I'm just going to do a good review.
Yes, that's not something or do nothing at all. it's a big pet peeve of mine. I'm not going to do that.
But reviews matter, folks.
Yes. Okay, if one out of every 100 doors you knock on list with you, or 1 out of every 100 people who visit your website, buy your course, that isn't failing. That's average, and that's normal and should be expected. Oftentimes, this is a numbers game, and that's true for, I think, many businesses. But I just think this mentality of like, people have this mentality of like, oh, I launched this product and only 1 out of 100 people that came to my website bought it. I failed, or it was a failure launch. Like, that's average, actually. That's normal. Or, oh, I went door knocking and I knocked on 100 doors, but only one person was a solid lead. That's not something to be discouraged by. That's actually, if we're talking about the numbers game, like statistically speaking, that's normal. So I think that just having a proper understanding of that is
when
important.
in doubt, hand it out. And what I mean by that is give something of value when you're trying to get face-to-face somebody, maybe door knocking, for instance. Give something of value. It could be a business card. Obviously, that's probably the most common. But give something to where if they were to get rid of it, maybe it's recycled and repurposed and somebody else sees your face.
Okay. Failure is not a bad thing. It's inevitable, and it means that you just keep going. If you have the mindset of if something doesn't work, that means I'm a failure, then you're looking at things wrong. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? And then try another way until you figure it out. If you're not failing at something, then you're not trying. And I love this example. I heard of a family who at the dinner table, they ask their kids every night, what did you fail at today? And speak about it like it's a good thing. They want them to tell them at least one thing that they failed at, because if they didn't fail, then that means they didn't try anything new and they weren't trying. And I love that, because I feel like in our culture, a lot of people have the mindset of like, oh, it didn't work out. Like, you shouldn't have done that, or that's a sign it wasn't the right thing, or you're a failure, but that's not the case. Yeah. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
It's a hard one to swallow, though, because failure, in a lot of personalities like myself, though, like, we don't want to fail. And in a way, us failing is being a sign of vulnerability, especially if like we're wanting to talk about it or figure out how to fix it. You can only fix it if you talk about it in a lot of cases. And usually that's meeting of the minds, whether that's with your spouse, a business partner, a mentor of yours. I always recommend talking to others, maybe in your same industry or likewise in industry, because you can gain great ideas, but also get motivated from what they're saying. And I believe that to be the biggest value anybody can take on this walk of earth is getting experiences told to you. So maybe you don't make that mistake, or you go out and you create those same experiences business-wise that you were just told about.
Adaptability is the strategy. The only guarantee is change. I'm having a rough time reading. I am really having a rough time today reading these off. But basically, you have to adapt and change constantly. I know for our business, a little background, when I first got my real estate license, I was 18. And for years, my for a long time, my only stream of business was for sale by owners. Like, that was it. Yeah. Had no sphere giving me giving me deal, nothing. No one trusted 18-year-old Mariah, and I don't blame them if they knew me, but I had to really like prove myself first, and then I finally started getting people I knew working with me in referrals. But still, my business was for sale by owners, and I'm cold calling, and I loved it, and I never saw that changing. But my life changed. I became a mom. I had to adapt. I decided at a certain point, maybe 6 months or so into being a mom, I just decided I don't want to cold call anymore, because it just requires so much more follow-up. It's just so time consuming. There has to be a better way. And I adapted, and I started making videos, and I didn't know at the time that these videos would become my main source of business very shortly after. But if I didn't adapt, then I would not have the business that I do today, and my life would not look the same as it did today. And I did not see that coming. I didn't expect. I loved cold calling. I love for sale by owners. But my main point in saying this is I had to really adapt the way that I get business, the way that I market, the way that I run my business, just everything. It's all come through adapting. Awesome. So you got to adapt. And that's the only strategy. Yeah. Because things change.
I have no further input.
Things change. You know, awesome. Okay.
No, I love that story, because that's a true story. Seriously.
It is a true story. Okay. Success in your business is whatever you decide that it is. by that, I mean, it's up to you how you run your business. I was just talking with a realtor who's been in the business for a really long time and spent a long time in that hustle phase, thinking that success as a realtor, she's taken a huge step back, not working with nearly as many clients, but is still busy making a good income, but just taking on some clients, the best ones. And instead of being booked up on listing appointments all day, which is, that's maybe what one person would consider a successful realtor. Instead, she's going on some listing appointments, but spending even more time playing tennis and enjoying life, spending time with family. And my goal is no longer to sell the maximum amount of houses. In my mind, here's what I tell myself is, as long as you're increasing your income over time, because that is important to me, adding streams of passive income over time, because that's very important to me as well. So you can continue to step back more and more in your business and, still making a comfortable living, and your clients are extremely happy. That's super important. Then why try to sell 60 homes a year? You don't have to sell that many houses a year to make a 6-figure or multiple 6-figure income in a lot of markets. I think it depends on, maybe if you live in Nebraska, you have to sell a lot of houses, but here in Oregon, it's
Love
a
you,
little
Nebraska.
different. Yes. You just need to learn who you're marketing to and how to do it effectively and how to work smarter, not harder. So that's a really big thing that I think is important to know is success in your business, whatever type of business that is whatever you decide, whatever you want. Like you get to run it. You get to make your hours. If you only want to work in the afternoons and show houses at like 7 p.m., like I've done that and had that schedule. It's fun. It's awesome. Like you can do whatever. Like just because some guru says you have to, be at the office by 8 a.m. Like, you can be sleeping at 8 and still make multiple 6 figures. Like you do not have to do that. And so, yeah, that's all. That's
there's
like
a lot of
my
product
real rant
out there.
about that,
There's a lot of books. There's a lot of coaches. There's a lot of business gurus. I love that word, gurus out there.
Guru.
And, it's like their life is figured out and everything's just day to day, dot, and drawn out for them. What was a real conversation that Mariah and I had to ask ourselves and have over the years of doing business together as a family as well is what's important to us and when's enough. I love that statement. When is enough? Because like technically if you make over $200,000-300,000 a year in the United States, you're the upper class and you're doing pretty good for yourself. Okay. But there comes a title status and a addiction, a personality trait, I would call it, of wanting to win at all costs or be just this guy that's known for the name, and there's been a lot of times where we've had to get over you, and I say I got to get over me, and that's just been our model. And I love what you said though about cool, your business is that, but what about the passive incomes? What about the other tools? And this is what I'm all about. Adding tools to my toolbox. I'm a wrestler, got a wrestling background. I always needed to know techniques to get me out of a jam or just to apply on people so I could dominate and just apply as much pressure and just dominate the field whenever I was on it. Adding tools when you're an adult is really cool, whether it's income producing, whether it's licenses, whether it's communication tools, business tools. You have experiences that you're going and being willing to access that a lot of other people are not. And the beauty is, in the long run, you're going to be set up because everyone's worried about their 401k. Everyone's worried about their Roth account. And I get asked that all the time. You better be saving your money for a rainy day. And that in a lot of cases it's true. You should probably have a stockpile of cash somewhere. That's smart. You're dumb if you don't. But the reality is building tools, assets as your walk of life goes on, you're able to have time elsewhere, family, what makes you happy. And there's a reason why realtors are so happy. It's because we get to enjoy our lives and not be stuck. Yeah. And the worst feeling I personally remember as a young man, fresh out of high school, was felt like I was stuck. In the beginning, it was fun. In the beginning, I learned to trade. But then I got stuck into this routine of life, and it took me probably 2.5 years to find out, this ain't me, babe. This is not what I want. This is not my pleasures anymore. And it was a real call that we had to make as a couple to go into business together. And that is one of the most pivotal moments, I would say, in my life, is making the choice to add another tool to my toolbox.
I like that. That's good. Okay. Well, another little thing before we end here. YouTube now has YouTube podcasts. So it's a separate, I don't know. I'm no expert on it, but it's a separate,
Is that new?
It is, yes, it's new. So you can listen to certain YouTube videos if they qualify or whatever as a YouTube podcast, or if they're in that category, you can listen to them. You can watch them like this, like you might be on YouTube, but you can also listen to them only on the YouTube podcast. It's separately. So these shows, go ahead.
Are we going to be uploading like previous videos to that podcast, or are we going to start from now and just keep adding?
So we have a playlist that is one big playlist of just YouTube podcasts, and it is all our sit down podcast style like this. So the ones that just kind of make sense to be
So
podcasts.
get in your car, you got great audio, and that is the point of having these professional mics.
Yes. So all of our videos are not on there. Obviously, like vlogs, we do a lot of like day in the life of real estate agent type videos, day in the life of entrepreneur, whatever. Like you can't really just listen to that. I mean, you can, but a lot of times you wouldn't want to. So those won't be in there, but we do have a whole playlist of just sit down style videos like this, and you can listen to them now on YouTube podcast. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell. We come on here every single week with new videos. Comment below, send us your topic suggestions and questions, and we will see you guys next time.